Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering the final story in Superboy Issue 3, Superboy's Great Amateur Hour. This is a story that would have worked so much better as two issues, so it could flesh out essentially the two separate villains in this comic. But as it stands, it just kind of does that at the halfway point and doesn't work as well. It's kind of like two separate ideas and feels like it has to really build up a villain in that second half. Structurally, falling apart. It also just feels weird with pacing because he deals with the first villain in 4 pages, legitimately. You see some scam artists, some vaudeville type scam artists. I don't know why that makes a difference, but the head guy is kind of theatric with his cane and cape. Has convinced the parents of Smallville, and yes, it is indeed referred to Smallville, except there's quite a few rich people in Smallville. It just feels off. I guess there could be a few rich people, but it definitely feels like there is a class divide in Smallville, which I never really get from like the modern Smallville, who are holding a sort of school to help kids with their talents, trying to prove that any kid had a talent, but all they're really after is money. There's kind of like a Music Man vibe to all of this, though they don't know to get the hell out of Dodge like he was supposed to in that movie. Also, no seducing of a lonely librarian, or was she a school marm? Oh god, my wife is going to kill me that I don't remember that. Clark goes around to them because he apparently has a good singing voice, a thing that seemingly never comes up again. Definitely hasn't come up in Superman. We never hear Clark sing. And sees through them immediately. Like, immediately, he uses his X-ray vision and sees they have weapons, so he becomes Superboy and gets rid of them. They're gone for the rest of the story. It's kind of amazing. We're 4 pages in, and the main thread of the comic has been solved. But there is still a bit of a story left. Kids are kind of disappointed that the show is not going on, so Superboy goes around and helps collect money from others to actually put on the show. The parents want to put on the show, so we're going to put on the show. And I think on its own, that would have been fine. It is Superboy doing something good for all the kids and family. And actually, if we could have tightened that into like a 3 more pages, it probably would have worked pretty well. Instead, we still have about 6 pages left, and we need some sort of actual conflict. So that's where we get Wordsworth. Wordsworth is, I think, the richest kid in the entire Smallville. He is referenced when the vaudeville villain tries to get money from his mother, but as an actual character up until this point, not really there. He wants to win this competition, so he's sabotaging everybody else. And the lengths he goes to, including burning the noses of a girl who has train seals. Yes, there is a girl in Smallville, a place that, well, not very clearly in Kansas, but definitely in the Midwest somewhere, has seals. Train seals. Does she have a water park? What does she do with these seals? Does she have them in the pool? It just seems like a weird thing to have seals. Maybe her family owns one of those walkabout zoos? Like drive-through, those were popular at the time, but that's still crazy to me that she has seals in a very landlocked area. It's sort of like on the show Smallville, where Metropolis seemingly was pretty close. They were at least in the same state. They're definitely meant to be Kansas. They would reference that Metropolis had docks. Docks to a river? Docks to a pond? They didn't have an ocean, they're in Kansas. But this girl has train seals, it's just wild. And Superboy helps each one of them, like he keeps the ball from actually touching the seals' noses, but allows them with his super speed to make it seem like they're actually performing their trick, until he embarrasses Wordsworth with his Swami routine. Yeah, we get one of those Swami routines. He's in a turban. He deserves everything that comes his way. And I guess here with Wordsworth, who's not a great villain, we don't see him do much other than kind of like stand around scheming. There's not a lot of time to deal with him, build him up as a villain, because we wasted 4 pages with another villain. But he gets embarrassed at the end, which leads to a change of heart. I guess it's better than the story I've been complaining about with the bully who was running for class mayor. But still, I don't feel like it's enough work. We need to rewrite this from like Wordsworth's position, or we make him more important from the whole get-go with the vaudeville, that he can be built into a villain. He doesn't get enough time, and he's not a particularly great villain because of that. And if we had like 2 issues, we could have had 1 issue dealing with the vaudeville villain, so we could have built that up a little bit more. had Clark actually have to work at taking them down. I don't have a problem with him doing it easily. He is Superboy. It's just, well, then we had so much story left afterwards. So if we had made that all into its own little standalone ish story that led into a second part that was all Wordsworth's plotting, I think it would have just been a better story. Doing that in like a 4 pages versus 6 pages is not really giving anybody their due and not a fully realized story. It's more like two half thought out stories combined. Okay, that is it from Superboy issue 3, Superboy's Amateur Hour. I have a real hard time remembering that title. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? What happened to Superboy's wonderful singing voice? Why doesn't Superman sing more? I guess he did in Final Crisis when he used the dream machine. God, that's a weird moment. Okay, have a great day.